Thank you, everybody. Can you all hear me? We good? Okay. So my name is Teresa, and I am here from Borneo Orangutan Survival USA and UK. That's always a mouthful, but I also work with Jane Goodall's Roots and Shoots USA. So I wear a few hats. And to top that all off, my day job is to work in the children's department of my local library in the US. So you're going to see many different things up here, not just about orangutans. I hope you're not too disappointed, but they are included. And my focus is always education. It's at the heart of what I do, and it has been my whole life. I actually got started about 16 years ago working in conservation education. So I started when I was pretty young. And I've just been going since. So as you see many different things on here, I am going to be very honest. I am not an expert on any one field. I work with BOSS and I love orangutans. I care about orangutans and it has been my focus, but I'm not an expert in any one field. And I think, as you'll see, that has actually been the most beneficial part of what I do and the work that I do with my kids. So just as a show of hands, who here actively works with young people in their education or giving talks? Okay, so some of you, hopefully more. Who here works with their grown-ups, with the adults? All right. Who does that simultaneously at the same time? Do you ever work together? I have found that a lot of focus, okay, not too many. I found that a lot of focus is usually on just the children or just the adults. And a lot of what I do is incorporating both, but it's allowing the children to take charge. So my title is Little Leaders, Big Change Makers. And in the back of my mind always is that children and young people should have the authority to make an impact. They have that awareness and ability and strength and knowledge to make a difference and to feel empowered to make a difference. And let me show you how we do this. So my group of kids is the Everything Explorers, and that is the name they chose to give themselves. We are a group, this is only a small portion of our group, and I don't always wear a giant cat head. It was a very special occasion. This was a celebration event for one of our latest projects. So I'm going to walk you through what we do and how I really engage the young people and their adults, their parents, their caregivers, their teachers. I'm going to walk you through it. This is not meant to be an instructional presentation for you all. I'm hoping it will be more inspirational. So I am not one of those people who have all the data and all the numbers. I just have a lot of pictures. So I don't have all of those numbers, but I know that what we're doing and what the idea behind what we're doing does make an impact because I have seen it. I've been working with this group and it's been growing over the past 2 to 4 years, and I can see almost daily what impact it's having by the choices those children and their families are making. So as I said, I work with Dr. Jane's Roots and Shoots USA, and we have grown from a very small group of just a few individuals to now, this was many months ago, or the screenshot, we're that Little Things group. We're known as the Little Things as well as the Everything Explorers because we know that the little things make a difference. And that is the driving force behind the actions we take. So we have really increased in number just our small group. So the first step of this formula that Roots and Shoots uses that I've now carried over to my other organizations and what we do, the first step is to get engaged. And that is probably why I'm in this stream of getting people to engage with your material, to get them engaged with your purpose and your mission and your drive. So my group, again, I'm not an expert on any one field. I know a lot about many different things. But the kids have the authority here. The young people get to decide what they care about. So we meet every other week after school or in the mornings, depending on what the event is. And we meet on a regular basis, and the children lead the way on what they want to learn about and what they want to do. So we start that by having our big brainstorming board, and then they choose a topic. So they choose a topic that they care about. And we've worked on everything from red wolves to Australian wildlife, where we've created pouches for orphan joeys that we've sent over to Australia. That's one of my backgrounds, is wildlife rehab. So the kids brainstorm on what they care about, and then they choose what they're most interested in at that time. Because if they're not interested in it, you're not going to get that engagement with them. So this is general, but I'll talk about in a little while how you can tailor this idea and this method to work for your specific organization, such as we've done with Borneo Orangutan Survival USA and UK. So the whole brainstorming, the getting engaged, is you get them talking, you get them excited, and you get them thinking. And this is your chance to see their baseline level of knowledge. You see what they already know about, and you see what they're interested in. So this part, we spend a lot of time. And so this is very formal for me. I talk at big groups all the time, but normally I sit on the floor with the kids, and I walk around, and they bounce around and show me things. So having to stand in one place right now is taking a lot of effort for me, especially only on one cup of coffee. So the next step is, once they've chosen their topic, whether that is cats and dogs, we've worked with our local county government shelter to raise awareness and adoptions there, and I'll talk about that. It's one of our proudest things. Our latest project was big cats, hence the tiger head and the fancy dress in the previous photo. So the next step is to observe and to map it out. And this is where the planning takes place, because no project is going to be successful if you don't have a plan for it. But again, this is not me as an adult telling the children what we need to do. It is them taking the authority and making those decisions for themselves. So they, each time they choose a topic, yes, I help guide them and I show them what is feasible and what we can do, but you must be open to their ideas. You don't shoot things down and say no. You say, that's a great idea. How can we do that? And again, I leave it to them to make those choices. So we observe and map it out, and usually they decide on about 3 to 5 missions that they want to complete, 3 to 5 projects. We tend to go off from there and end up doing more, such as example with our Big Cat program. They did everything from making posters to raise awareness of, I live in Florida, so we have the Florida panther or the cougar, and they wanted to raise awareness of this endangered species in our hometown area, which isn't too far from the habitat. So they've made posters. They also made stop motion animation videos, which I don't know how to make, but they did. And they used their own technology to create these videos to help nonprofits through like little PSA announcements. And we've done a whole slew of things, and it's them deciding for themselves that they want to do it. And it's my job to encourage them and to guide it with the background knowledge. So we map it out and we figure it out together. The next step is actually the action part. This is always the part that they have the most fun with. And you take action, you let them do things. So this is where I was saying, they made their stop motion videos. When we had our Australia one, they made these beautiful painted cutouts that we were able to display in the local library and around. We brought them to the animal shelter when they did things for animal shelters. I have more photos. One of my greatest things was that middle picture is a graphic novel written by a 7-year-old girl to teach others about how wolves are, they're always the bad guy in the story, Little Red Riding Hood, the 3 little pigs. The wolf is always the villain. Well, in her story, she wanted to show others that they're misunderstood. So the farmer was upset that one of his livestock was killed, and he was blaming the wolf. And in her story, it showed that the wolf was just hunting the rabbits nearby, and it wasn't a threat to the livestock, and the farmer realizes his mistake. And this was from a 7-year-old. We sometimes see kids and we try to tone things down for them and make it all light. But they're able to comprehend and understand so much more than adults usually give them credit for. So this is something, and again, we said there's no such thing as the big bad wolf. So she wrote this story and shared it amongst her school and at the library and with other children. And we're hoping to create a series of books on different topics as a traveling library so we can display them in different places. And so that's the taking action where we do the work. And we've done work with our local shelter. This was something that I was very proud of. It is the local government shelter, so our county shelter. And we worked with them to create adoption ads. At Christmas time, we created a Whisker Wonderland where the families decorated the animal shelter to help bring people in and to make it a nicer environment. And they created these little gingerbread cat houses for the animals to stay in to just make it a little bit more festive during the holiday season. But what was great is you can see everyone, all ages took part. We had the young 2-year-old all the way up to the adults in the room, and everyone had a role, which was pretty much delegated by the young people. And they said, okay, Mom, you do this and you do that. And it was really interacting with all the ages to work together for everyone. So the next step that we always do is after you take action and you do your good work, you celebrate because they want to feel, hey, I did a good job. You want them to feel proud, as they should. So this was over the time that we worked with the county shelter, and we do this for months at a time. We work on one topic for as long as they're interested in, and that's really the key. You let them decide the pace. So we worked with the local animal shelter, and then we created an adoption event at our library where we were able to invite the public in, and we were able to create for the first time so you want to work with your local governments. This was the very first time that the local library system, which is run by the same county department, was working collaboratively with the county shelter. So it was the very first time that we had the shelter come into the library and do an event together. And from this one event, we have 17 branches in our county, and now all the branches are doing the same thing, and they're inviting the shelter in to do adoption events with their library, and they're making animal toys like we did. We sent animal toys during the holidays for the shelter pets, and now the others are doing it too. So that word of mouth and having things be successful and be little pilot programs is really key. So our celebration event, we did this big adoption day, and we had the dogs come in, which was a lot of fun. I forgot to mention, I owe a lot to AfA here. That little boy is my son. I actually met my husband at AfA in 2014. He worked for Acres. So thank you for coming to my anniversary party. I appreciate it. As Lewis from Acres told our son last night, he's here because of Acres and because of AfA. So we're very appreciative. But it's, again, I said we started small. We had a small little group where I started a few years ago, and I only had one family come. And that one family came each time. And I could have stopped and I could have said, oh, well, this isn't working out so well. And even with COVID, we met virtually, we met online, and we chatted online. And I could have said, oh, this isn't working out so well, but we stuck with it. And now we have over 70 people come to our events each time. So it really has grown, and it's that word of mouth, and they're inviting their family, like their friends and the next family, and it's growing from there. So much so that it's been recognized by our county. We receive letters of thanks. We receive recognition. We've been written about. Jane Goodall's website wrote about us. It has grown, and it does make an impact. So more of our celebration events, when we did our Australian wildlife, I'm not actually holding that Vegemite in front of the kangaroo. That was something separate. But that wallaby was one of my rehab patients in Australia who went on to be released and was the head of his mob. So I was teaching the kids about wildlife rehabilitation, which I did through another organization. But we hold these big events as a way to celebrate. When we did our Red Wolves, we worked. So the thing is, we work with other organizations that aren't located nearby. So we have the Wolf Conservation Center located in New York in the USA, and they reintroduce wolves back to the wild through their breeding programs. So we were able to teach the children about that. And for them to see it, you don't need to see it firsthand. They don't need to touch the animal. They don't need to have that hands-on interaction. They just need to see the work being done. So my job, with all of my background knowledge from knowing everyone here and from working with the organizations that I do, my job is to connect them with that existing knowledge and those people doing the work, because this is how they see, oh, well, I love animals, but I don't have to be a vet. I don't have to be a zookeeper, because in their mind, if you love animals, you're taught at a young age, so you must be a zookeeper. But there's more. You can use your different, you can use your talents for different things. One of our celebration events, we connected with a group in Zambia where the men are the rangers and they go out and collect poaching snares. And then the women turn it into beautiful jewelry by hammering out the metal from the snares. And I was able to connect the children with that so they can see you can use your talent for jewelry making to turn something harmful into something beautiful. So I take them on field trips to meet local, when there's local events with authors such as Cy Montgomery or Carl Safina, we go out and I get them involved. So if you can get them involved in things happening around you, open up those opportunities where you think, oh, kids aren't interested. Kids are interested. Young people are interested. They want to see what's going on. And you might wonder, well, what's the impact here? What is it really doing? You're making cute posters, but is it really having an effect? But I can tell you that it is. So for example, somebody saw this cute poster of Darth Vader, the cat. He was the longest residing cat at the shelter. Within minutes of this Facebook post that the county made using an adoption ad made by one of our children, that they called up the shelter and said, I have to go get him, and that cat was adopted. And then I created a board and I updated it as they were all adopted, and it is making an impact. We created this great relationship with our local shelter, who also runs the animal police, basically. And now there's all this goodwill and good feeling there. We created appreciation cards for Officer Appreciation Day, and it was shared amongst all the staff. We worked for World Chimpanzee Day. We made care packages for Save the Chimps located in Florida. So again, we have another event coming up with Center for Great Apes with Borneo Orangutan Survival as well, just to have that engagement, because it is making an impact. And again, these rooms are being filled more and more. And not only that, but I've heard it said now, in the beginning, you have to the big challenge is when love is kind of harmful. So, they love animals, so they want to go pet a dolphin and ride a dolphin. And they love animals, so they want to be in these experiences that are more harmful than helpful. But now through this program, they're learning, and their adults are learning that maybe we won't book that holiday in the same way we were going to. So this is a lot of what we do. That little girl, Zoe, she's holding a piñata that she and her mom made for panthers at a sanctuary. So it's a piñata that will be filled, and it's, natural and safe. So they're doing these tangible things, and it's having an impact for the animals, but it's having an impact on them for the future as well. So I have incorporated it with Borneo Orangutan Survival. We have our Young Orangutan Warriors program, and we were recently invited to the Knox Asian Fest, which had about 70,000 people come. It was truly incredible, and the Consul General of Indonesia was there with his family, and was so engaged and so excited to talk with us, and he was so welcoming. And they've signed up for our adoption program, and they're now supporting, and we're working jointly together for future programs. So just be silly with the kids, have fun. I'm sticking my tongue out at one, not because I'm being rude, but because she was coloring a pangolin. So we were talking about why pangolins have such long, sticky tongues. So some tips and tricks is involve the adults as well, invite them in, but give the kids the authority. And there's so many things that we can do. So you might start small, but give it time and it'll grow quite a bit. Do we have any questions? Yes. Yeah.
What are the ages of the children? Are they in kindergarten, primary, or secondary?
So again, I work with all ages. My main focus is from 7 to 12-year-olds, but if a 2-year-old is interested, I let them come. I don't discriminate. And my son's 5. You might see him later today. I apologize. But we let them in. We work on all ages. And I wanted to add a great way to do that, if you're concerned about having multi-ages, is you help get the older ones to mentor the younger ones, or the more experienced ones with the younger, less experienced ones. And that's how you can also get the adults involved as well. So it's a really wonderful way to connect those communities. Any others? That was my little bragging moment, but also just a chance to show different programs that we've done, different activities that the children have decided on. All right. And I think that's it. Yes, it is. Thank you.